AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. Matt?
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Cassie Spazzali.
Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Music.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 1 hour from right now, David DeLucci will be with us to recap the weekend that was in the Southeastern Conference on the Diamond. I'll get to you now an LSU football practice report from the weekend, including the unfortunate news about Gabe Reliford tearing his ACL. That's coming up in 15 minutes from right now. I'm taking up way too much of Heath Schroyer's day, but he's good enough to hang out in the studio with us, so I'm going to take advantage of the time that we have. All right, let's talk some basketball.
Okay.
Will Wade is coming back to the SEC in a very different league than the one he left. Not just because there's two more teams, but there's tremendous more investment in buy-in. When you look at the SEC, what do you see in basketball?
I think it's the best basketball league in the country. From top to bottom, I think it's the best league. And, I mean, Garth Guy's been the deputy commissioner of the SEC. I know Garth really, really well. We served on the men's basketball oversight committee together, and I think he's done a phenomenal job, as obviously with Commissioner Sankey. I think they've done a phenomenal job. The league is really, really good from top to bottom. The investments are at an all-time high, and look, at the end of the day, I mean, men's basketball is a revenue generator, and and I think the SEC has really understood that and put a lot of schools have put a lot of money behind it and I think they're seeing the return on their investment.
I asked Will Wade at his press conference what he needs for a roster budget to be able to compete. He talked about winning championships, right? He talked about having a national championship banner. I don't know that I'm going to get a number out of you, but what do you think as far as investment you need to be able to win a national championship at a place like LSU?
Well, I mean, obviously, Coach talked about it. I mean, I think that you have to be, in the middle to, or upper in the SEC, from a budget standpoint. But I think sometimes this gets lost, right? You can have as much money as you want, but you still have to evaluate, and you still have to be able to get them. Like, money is money, right? They're going to throw all that. But at the end of the day, you still have to evaluate talent. You have to be able to have a system and have a culture and have a group of guys buy into something bigger than themselves. You have to have support and alignment with your administration. All those things have to be in place. And, I mean, I don't think that, look, if it was all about money, and I'm a huge Yankee fan, don't shoot me.
No, same.
But like,
he's a Red Sox fan.
Right.
He's a fake Red Sox fan.
But like, if it all was about money, then the New York Yankees would have won World Series every year, right?
I know, dog. The Dodgers are pushing a billy on their payroll.
That's true.
That's true too.
That's true. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
you still have to be,
yes.
So do you have to be in the ballpark? Yeah. I mean, you can't, you can't be dead last, and but you have to be first. I don't think you have to. I think it really comes down to evaluating talent and having a system of play that is conducive to winning. That that's probably a little bit different. Like Coach talked about, like you look at prime example is Texas A&M with buckyball, right? Mm-hmm. They're just different. So being able to figure all that out is just as important to me as just being able to completely just throw money at the quote unquote problem.
I'm glad you brought that part of it, because Will mentioned in his press conference, when he was here before, that's some really good offensive teams. Defense at times was optional. I don't know if you watched much of Will Wade's LSU teams his 5 years here, but obviously you saw him as your head coach at McNeese. How has Will Wade's style system evaluation maybe evolved from when he was here 4 years ago?
Well, what he did defensively, and again, I was there every game, but what he did defensively at McNeese, and how he played his last year or so at LSU was, he put 5 guys on the floor that could all guard 5 different positions and switched everything. He never allowed the offense to have an advantage, right? Really good offense, you want to put 2 on the ball so that you can play out of rotations, right? And play 4-on-3 on the backside. Well, if you never do that defensively, it's hard to get an advantage. I mean, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but so he was very, very unique. I thought his teams at McNeese were better defensively than they were offensively. Now, I mean, obviously they were top 10 or whatever in both there, but I thought what made him really good was what he did on the defensive side of the ball. That's what I saw, especially when he was at McNeese in the last year or so when he was at LSU. And I'll say this, Bill Armstrong, who is the head coach now at McNeese, he and Will really kind of, put that system together, while Bill was here.
I also asked Will about staff. I know there's nothing been confirmed. Will said beginning of next week, he said, I think the way he said would be a shell recruiting staff. Yeah. Can you walk us through what this week is like as far as trying to hire a staff? And will you have involvement in that at all?
I mean, look, I'm not going to micromanage him on who he hires. He'll throw people at me and say, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And or what do you think of this guy? But it's his decision. I'm not coaching basketball. But to me, and I've said this to him, and I said this to Coach Armstrong. I said it to every coach I've hired: is you have to make sure that you have everyone on your staff with the same vision, moving in the same direction. And in today's world, especially with how transactional this world is, being able to have everyone moving in one direction, I think, is really, really critical. And he's got, obviously, a ton of people in the country would love to work at LSU and work for Will Wade. So hiring a staff's not going to be a problem. It's you just want to get the right ones and the right guys and staff that can complement each other, I think, is really important.
That's sort of alignment, a word you used, a word Will used a bunch. I'll come back to that in a second. But while I have it, there are unconfirmed reports about Johnny Jones possibly being on staff, Rick Stansberry as a GM. Is any of that finalized?
No, none of that's finalized. And Coach mentioned it today. We're not going to, he's not going to have a GM. He is the GM.
Okay, I was going to ask that as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there will not be a general manager position on staff?
As of right now, that's, I'm just going to go with what Coach talked about today and in the fact that he wants to be the final say in his roster, which I love. At the end of the day, he's still got to coach them and make those decisions. And, all that, really, honestly, the next 72 hours is going to be a real work in progress. And, and again, in my role is the same thing as when I was the AD at McNeese, is to be there as a resource, to be there to help him. But ultimately, it's his decision and his staff, and I just want him to be able to have the staff around him, because I know, when you're head coach or you're an AD, having people around you that can compliment you, it's everything. You got these guys around here that if they're not, look at them, they're phenomenal. I don't think you would be what you are without these guys over here.
That's a fact.
So you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, and a basketball assistant coaches is no different.
Poor Muse deals with a lot from me. I'm telling you.
I can tell.
It's the understatement of the century.
Oh, I know, brother.
Hey,
listen, if you haven't figured out yet, I'm trying to get you a raise already.
Look, I appreciate it.
I'm telling you, man.
You're never invited back. What are you talking about?
I need allies. I need allies.
Listen,
here.
we all need allies, and I am working my butt off right now to help you, my friend.
I appreciate that.
As far as allies, you mentioned alignment. This is literally the first thing that Will Wade said after he mentioned his return was deeply personal. He thanked Governor Landry. He mentioned Lee Mallett, the chairman of the board, of course, Southwest Louisiana. He mentioned Dr. Roos. He mentioned you, Heath Schroyer, mentioned the LSU Athletic Administration. I know to a degree you would have a relationship with all of them. I don't know to what degree you know the governor. I know Lee Mallett is, as you told me, he's been very generous at McNeese.
He's been a huge supporter. Yeah, he's been a huge supporter of McNeese for, since I've been there, 7 years. And I'll tell you this, he loves McNeese, he loves LSU, but more importantly, he loves the state of Louisiana. And, I got nothing but positive things to say about the man. He has been unbelievable to me and unbelievable to a lot of people. And there's nobody in this state that truly loves Louisiana more than Lee Mallett.
That dude was rocking that purple suit today, too.
Oh,
man.
come on.
I mean,
now.
that royal purple was like, bah!
I know.
Man,
Hey, I saw it. I go, Lee, how do I do got to get some gear, and I need your help on that. You got to have an official something here that I can go buy some purple gear, right?
We got
off
you.
the air.
Yeah, we got you. Look, I told you. I mean, last Friday I did an event downtown. I was auctioneering an event. It was a derby themed event, and so I went to Haspel, Haspel is the original seersucker from New Orleans. So Richard Lipsey, who's a former LSU board member and certainly world largest firearm dealer in the world. His wife, Miss Susan Lipsey, was a Haspel. And so their daughter, Lori, oversees the business, Haspel. And anyway, so they've got seersucker, but they got so much more than just seersucker. Actually, the suit Lane Kiffin wore at his introductory presser, that was a Haspel suit. Wow. So we need to get you over that. We need to get you.
Lori actually told me to come by and see her. She wants to take measurements and the whole deal.
That's Haspel.
There we go.
So
I'm in.
Go to haspel.com if you want to go check out. We'll get Heath outfitted over there. So alignment is so very important. So two more. Alignment with the governor, with Lee Mallett, with Wade Roos. Obviously, it's a huge reason why, working with Verge, that this all happened, right? Having all those people pulling in the same direction. What does that mean for this program, not just to get to this point, but forward?
I think that I think it means a lot, just because and the way this is set up is really a lot like a lot of other Division I institutions at this level now, right? And so for me, I just want to be a resource to Coach. I want to be able to obviously help him raise money and be an administrator for him and his program. And I think just for him, having alignment, like any coach. I mean, like any athletic director, any leader, any president, they want to, to be able, Dr. Roos mentioned this again, of alignment and chain of command and those things. And all that's really, really important to have in place if you're going to be successful. And, I think that, John Calipari went on in one of his press conferences, said the other day, coaches win games and administrations in today's world win championships. And I think that's really, really true. And, my job is to provide, to help, the department and Verge and everyone else provide the resources, to make all of our sports, competitive and successful. And obviously, men's basketball is a big one.
Last thing for you, I very much appreciate you spending this much time with us today. What do you think is a realistic possibility for LSU men's basketball?
Hey, listen, we've been to a Final Four before. I'm not going to go out there and say we're going to do that. But I mean, look, we've been to a Final Four before. I think that Coach Wade came back here to put this program in a position to win a national championship. And is that going to happen overnight? No, I don't foresee that happening overnight. But I think that's the goal, And I think that if you have really high goals and hold yourself to a standard and to expectations, if you don't reach those high goals, you're still going to be really, really good. And I think that at the end of the day, that's our goal. I mean, look, I didn't come here just to be average. I wanted to come. If I was going to leave McNeese, I wanted to go somewhere where it was really, really special, where I could make a huge impact and be a part of something bigger than myself. LSU provides all that, and I think that talking to Will, he wanted to come back and deliver for the state of Louisiana. He loves it here. This is his home, and he wants to really put down roots and build a program and hopefully cut down the big net one day.
Heath Schroyer, welcome to Baton Rouge.
Thank you, my friend.
This won't be the last time we do this, I promise, and I appreciate very much the time today.
Anytime, my friend.
It's after further review. We're going to knock out a quick break, come back, get you an LSU football practice report from Saturday, talk a little bit about the unfortunate injury to Gabe Reliford. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark in the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Of course, Renaissance Baton Rouge right there on Bluebonnet near I-10. It's convenient to anything in Baton Rouge because it's right there at Bluebonnet and I-10. You'll learn this too. All directions in Baton Rouge start with get on I-10. So I-10, Bluebonnet, right between Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Road, and it's gorgeous. No matter what event you may have coming up, call Allison Crump. She's the event coordinator for Renaissance and for Watermark. But it doesn't matter if it's a board meeting for a dozen people or if you want their grand ballroom for 500 people, a wedding reception, an awards banquet. Like the LSU football team stays at Renaissance Baton Rouge the Friday before every home game. They use the grand ballroom for their team meals, all their team meetings, and then all the smaller rooms they have for breakout meetings for all the position groups. So it doesn't matter what size or scale event you have, they can host you there at Renaissance Baton Rouge. So give them a call today. Call Allison Crump over at Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
I really appreciate Heath Schroyer for taking the time. Did not anticipate keeping him as long as we did, but we had more to talk about. He was willing to stay, and so very, very grateful for that, and we'll certainly have him back. It's going to be interesting how they structure this effectively. And we had a chance to visit with Verge Osbury today after Will Wade's press. So Verge didn't take questions on the dais, but he met with reporters afterwards on the side, and he said this is an interesting structure how they're managing. Where Heath will serve as the primary fundraiser for basketball, and Zach Greenwell will serve as the primary fundraiser for baseball, and Clay Harris will serve as the primary fundraiser for football. Right, so they're breaking it down to where you have people in specific roles to serve as those revenue generators for those sports. And if you can't tell, like, that's a guy who is super personable, has a great relationship with this head coach, has been an athletic administrator. You heard him say during his time at McNeese last year, they did $11 million in naming rights. $11 million. He said maybe the biggest year they'd ever had is like $1 million. So you're talking about a guy that knows how to sell, that knows how to make money, that knows basketball, was a basketball coach, was the head coach at McNeese, has 8 years of roots in Louisiana, Southwest Louisiana. I think is going to be able to tap new dollars into this LSU men's basketball program. So fascinating time. Won't be the last time we have Heath on the show. We appreciate him for coming in and taking a little time. LSU football was on the practice field Saturday morning. Media got to go watch, as we have, about 30 minutes. No cameras or anything like that. I did have some takeaways from that 30 minutes or so that we got to watch. The first team, the way it lines up, and if you haven't caught our reports up into this point, when they come outside, they run an 11-on-11 period. And it's a hurry-up, no huddle. They run maybe 8-10 plays. So, they start near the goal line. They're just running the length of the field. Now, I don't know if it's a no-huddle period or it's 2 minute or if it's just the regular offense, right? Because they go fast under Lane Kiffin. But they're just progressing the ball down the field. Saturday was the first time in shoulder pads, so the first time we heard the pads pop a little bit. And it was pretty physical, man. The last play they ran, Harlem Berry kind of got into a little bit of a shoving match with a couple of defensive players. So you love to see some of the intensity. Your first team offense, Landon Clark remains at quarterback. Harlem Berry was the running back. That had been Caden Durham, by the way. Jace Brown, Jackson Harris, Winnie Watkins were your receivers. Tradez at tight end. And your offensive line left to right remains Jordan Seaton, Devin Harper, the Ole Miss transfer at left guard, Braylon Moore at center, Aluba from Maryland at right guard, and then Weston Davis is still running at right tackle. It was interesting because Roman Mothershed, the big 6'5" receiver transfer from Troy, was rotating with that first receiver group. I believe he actually caught the first pass of the practice of that period as well. Defensively, there was a change on the defensive line. Prince Wuluman Mielen and Jordan Ross were still the first team ends. But remember on Thursday, it was two true freshmen, Deuce Gerald's, Richard Anderson were the tackles with the ones. On Saturday, Gerald's was still with the ones, but Anderson went with the twos, and Malik Blockton, the Auburn transfer, moved in there with the ones. We still have not seen Stephylan Green, the Clemson transfer, so far through 3 spring practices. And, of course, as we broke the news on Saturday, Gabe Reliford has torn his ACL. It is it is unlikely you see him play in 2026. There is a remote possibility that maybe at the end of the regular season or if they make a playoff run, that he might be able to return to give you something there. But remember, even on the early end of a 7-month timeline, you would still need conditioning and things like that. So very unfortunate that for the second consecutive year now, Gabe Reliford has suffered a really severe injury that's going to cost him time, if not the entire season. Well, your linebackers were Devon Keys, TJ Daugherty. Whit Weeks continues to be present, but just observing. Pickett and Woodland were your cornerbacks. Deshaun Spears, the first-team star, and then Ty Benefield and Tamarcus Cooley were the safeties. By the way, with the twos, with Reliford out, he was replaced by Kalaj Cobbins. So Dylan Carpenter, Kalaj Cobbins were the ends that ran with the twos. It was also notable that Damian Shanklin returned. So Shanklin had missed the first 2 practices. He's the redshirt sophomore from Indianapolis. He had missed the first 2 practices. He was there on Saturday. As we mentioned, Stefylan Green still out. Let's see, a few other things of note. For the first time, we got to see the quarterbacks and receivers work on jet sweeps. So there were 5 receivers working on jet sweeps. So the rest of the receivers went and worked with George McDonald, the receiver coach, and 5 guys worked on jet sweeps with the quarterbacks. It was Tyree Holloway, Winnie Watkins, Jace Brown, Najor Granger. That's Tusi. Am I saying it right, Muse? Tusi, the rapper. Do you not know who Tusi is?
Oh, you're the guy from Syracuse, right? He just came in as a freshman receiver.
He's 26 years old. He's a rapper. I think it's Tusi.
Tusi. That's his name. Yeah, I don't know what
his
you
name
said before that.
His name is Najor Granger.
We're not going to call him that. We're going to call him Tusi.
Well, I'm going to call him Najor Granger.
Just get Tusi on the back of the jersey.
I don't think you can do that. That's literally not allowed.
Oh,
you can't have nicknames on a jersey.
Yeah.
This isn't the XFL. Philip Wright was also out there as well. So those were the 5. And I'll continue to tell you, Dylan Jones, the transfer from Wisconsin, he just looks so different than the other backs. Size, physicality. That's a guy that I think you're probably going to see play a role maybe as the 3rd running back on this team behind Berry and Durham, and I wouldn't be surprised if that even changed a little bit. He looks really good. Again, they don't even have pads on, so I'm not trying to jump to any conclusions, but you can just look and say, okay, well, that's a big, strong, physical dude who looks way more experienced than everybody else. Excuse me. We also got to see the tight ends work with the quarterbacks. The order was Trey'Dez Green, Malachi Thomas, the transfer from Pitt, Zach Grace, the transfer from Oregon, J.D. LaFleur, J.C. Anderson, that's the freshman, and then Landon Craig, who's a walk-on. Those were the tight ends. I did talk to a staff member after practice who said, look, effectively, Malachi Thomas is going to be the traditional hand-in-the-dirt tight end, and then Zach Grace is going to be the H back, right? The sort of attached but standing up sort of in that H back role. So as a blocker, did not record an offensive statistic a year ago, but was working catching passes. Saturday was family day at practice, so families are invited to attend. So you had a large crowd, parents, siblings, all that sort of stuff. There were a lot of boosters and supporters of the program as well that were out there on Saturday. And the Tigers will be back on the practice field Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We will have media availability Tuesday, Thursday, but not on Saturdays. I understand that they're going to go into Tiger Stadium on Saturday, and that is going to be a closed practice. We're not going to have availability for that, unfortunately. But if I can get any reports out of it, I'll let you know. One other thing that I was told, and maybe the bummer for me is I've told you the position group I'm so interested in watching this spring is the offensive line, right? It was your worst position group a year ago. They've really made over that room with the exception of Braylon Moore and Weston Davis, who's still hanging around. But they got to be better, and you have new coaches with Eric Wolford and with James Craig coming in as well. And so it's going to be a lot different. I'm fascinated to watch that group, but we can't see that group, unfortunately. The way that I'm grateful for any access, so please don't take this as a complaint. I'm just explaining. Where they let us stand, and there's 4 full-length outdoor practice fields out at LSU. Where we stand is on the west sideline, and we're sort of at the northwest part of the west sideline or the north end zone. Well, the offensive line, when they break into individual, goes to the to the southeast field. So not only are they more than 100 yards away, you're also they're 100 yards away, but you've also got to see over and through 100 other football players on the other two fields that are being occupied. So I can't give you a firsthand account of what I'm seeing from the offensive line, except for that very brief 11-on-11 that we see. But I did talk to a staff member who told me that the offensive line so far is the most improved aspect of the team, and said that the depth really is much better, saying that last year you probably had 1 to 3 guys that were actually good enough to play in the SEC. And now you've got 8 or 9 that are SEC caliber players, and then 10 to 18 are really good scout team and developmental guys. So they've dramatically improved the talent in the offensive line room. So it's kind of the conversation we were having at the end of last year when all these guys were going in the portal, and there was this sort of mini melt because all these offensive linemen left. And so the question was, and I just candidly don't know the answer to this, but the question was, do you want those guys back because it maintains continuity and you've already invested in these guys? Or do you look at that and go, this was your worst position group. Why would you want these guys back? Why not go see if you can find better players? Well, they went the route of going to find better players, and apparently early returns, again, 3 spring practices and they're not even full pads, but seems like the early returns are positive on the offensive line. As we find out more, talk more, learn more, we'll certainly keep you posted here on AFR. Hey, we're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Again, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Go to the website, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. They have the recreational land buying guide, the ultimate recreational land buying guide there at the website. Totally free resource, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend if you're thinking of buying land, you go check that out. Now, if you're someone who already owns land, and a lot of people who buy land already own land, so you take some equity in your current land and roll it into your new, that's totally fine. They do that a ton at First South Farm Credit. firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review, and we are glad you're hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. David DeLucci in 30 minutes. We are going to let you hear much more from Will Wade, who met with reporters today, but also today out in Arizona, the NFL owners' meetings got underway. Kellen Moore met with reporters, talked about Alvin Kamara, some of the other big questions, Chris Olave's extension. We'll let you hear what Kellen Moore had to say when he met with reporters today. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Well. Finally going to get a little rain this week. Well, no worries. Still an awesome time to get by Clegg's Nursery. And it is time to plant your vegetable garden. And right now, Clegg's has an excellent selection of vegetable plants, vegetable or herbs. They have garden seed, hand-selected by garden expert Johnny Naylor. That's what we talk about, Johnny Naylor seed. So if you are a green thumb, you already know about Johnny Naylor. There he is right there if you're watching. If you already know Johnny. But if you're not and you're thinking about planting a garden for the first time, you have to go to Clegg's. Nothing is better than vegetables from your garden to table, and it's an awesome activity for the family. So do this with your kiddos. Go buy some seeds, plant those vegetable seeds, care for it, watch your garden grow, and have true garden-to-table vegetables right there in your own backyard. Clegg's can make it happen. Buy local, shop local, Clegg's Nursery.
After Further Review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
Kellen Moore met with reporters out in Arizona today. Let's hear some of the highlights. Actually, Saturday night was over at Supper Club. Will Wade was in there on Friday night, so I missed the general at Supper Club by one day. You think he would have invited me to sit at his table?
I mean, you're buds, so yeah, probably. That's what buds do.
Let me hear the buds. Let's hear it.
I appreciate it, bud.
No. Today.
Oh, today.
Are you not only that one? I need today.
Today's
what are you
bud.
talking
All
about?
right, hey.
Jesus. Hit me.
We have a lot of buds.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Thank you for that. We'll use that on the radio today. No, of course I know you didn't forget.
I mean, the funny thing is there's 1,000 people in that room, and I think there's 2 people that laughed. Play it again, like play just the beginning.
Hey, Will. Hey, bud.
Those are the 2 AFR listeners that were in the room that actually got the
only
joke.
2.
Or the 2 that have listened long enough to get the joke.
Yeah.
I mean, so good. Right out the chute. And like, as sure as the sun will rise, Will was going to do that the first time I asked him a question. But it was beautiful. I tried not to belly laugh into the microphone, but it was a beauty.
No hesitation on his part, man.
Play it
Like,
again. Hit it again.
Hey, Will. Hey, bud.
So good, dude.
If you don't know the backstory, I'll explain. So the first time when Will Wade was the coach here the first time he came on the air, or it might not have even been the first time, it was just a time that he came on the show. And I guess it couldn't have been the first time because I wouldn't have called him Bud if I didn't already know him well enough. And, you know, you finish the interview. Hey, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. All right. And as we're saying goodbye, Sarah, thanks, Bud. Well, some listeners were incensed that I would be so rude as to call the basketball coach, who I think is younger than me, by the way, Bud. Or how old? Look up his age, please. We're either the same age, maybe we're right about the same age. We might be the same age.
Will Wade is 43.
So what's his birthday?
November 26th, 1982.
All right, I'm older than Will. All right, I'm July 8th of 82. So I'm July, he's November. So like, he's just a guy. I mean, he's the coach, but he's a guy. And I know him. And so he was saying goodbye and said, thanks, Bud. And some people were just incensed that I could be so disrespectful as to call the basketball coach Bud. So I told Will this story. And so then naturally, him being who he is, which is an epic troll and hilarious and all that things, every time subsequent that he came on the show and I was letting him, saying goodbye, I would say, well, thanks for the time. He would go, thanks, Bud. That's the drop. Play the old drop, please. That's this one.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Like he called me Bud every time forever. And so today, and I've also told you that 3 years ago, when Mockler, our great sponsor, Bud Light, when they bought Southwest Bev in Lake Charles, I did my show over there whenever they had this event to sort of merge the companies, and Will and Heath came over from McNeese and did an interview with me at Southwest Bev, who's also a great sponsor of McNeese Athletics, or Mockler and Bud Light is the official beer of McNeese. So there's a lot of synergies there. And we were in this sort of conference room, and when you open up the doors of the conference room, you're looking down this long hall, which went to the lobby at the front of the building. And so the doors are open. I'm sitting in this conference room, and Will turns the corner, and I mean, he had to be 50 feet away, maybe farther than that, like down the end of a long. He goes, "Oh, hey, Bud!" Just yells it down the hall. So like, I had no doubt. Well, we talked about it last week, didn't we, Muse? Like there was no doubt he was going to drop a Bud on me. I mean, it was just a matter of would he have done it at the very onset? Would it have happened later in the Q&A? But no, like right from jump.
Hey, Will. Hey, bud.
I mean, it's just.
He's such a beauty.
He's the best.
I love him so much.
He's the best.
I just love him. He may not win a basketball game here. I don't care. I just love him. Oh,
He's going to win a basketball game.
Oh, he's going to win.
He's going to win a lot of basketball
I know, but I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
I just love him. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I can talk about the basketball team again.
Yes.
Man. People care.
Yes.
It's hard to
oh my God.
for it just to be a nothing, just a zero. Which is what it's been. It's been a zero. I think I was telling you about Supper Club, actually. That's where
That is how this entire, we were supposed to do Ellen Moore right here.
Ellen Moore.
And then you started your Supper Club read, and we just got into Will Wade. Will Wade, Supper Club, both great things.
I tried a new steak at Supper Club on Saturday night.
All right.
So we've told you for a little while now about the herb beef. Well, the herb beef has been hard to get. I don't even know if I should say this. So anyway, they've been sourcing. God, I probably shouldn't even say this because it's not even on the menu yet. But I was talking to Noah. So we had an event Saturday. Eric and I went to Drew's. Oh, and Cassie, you were there Saturday. What time were you there?
Our reservation was for 7. Did I just miss? I didn't see you.
We didn't get there till like probably 9:45.
We left probably like 9:15.
Okay, so we missed.
Oh man.
So because I saw your Instagram story, I was like, oh, what if no one's there? So we went to Cheers for Children, the charity event for Drew's school, which was awesome, St. Lillian Academy. And so afterwards, we still had some of the night. So we said, let's go have a drink. And so we went to Supper Club. Like what I always tell you, just go sit at the bar. So we walked in, no reservation, and Erica and I and our friend Danae, the three of us went and we sat at the bar. And the girls had a glass of wine and I had a whiskey and I ordered, and I was talking to Noah, and he told me they have a new steak on the menu. That's a new kind of Wagyu. That's not quite as, if you don't like necessarily the really fatty, buttery Wagyu, but you're still tender enough that you can cut it with your fork. Incredible. So I tried that on Saturday night. Amazing. They're all, point is, at Supper Club, you're going to have the best experience of your life, but they're always finding new ways to bring new, fun, different items to the menu you can't find anywhere else. And yes, we had butter cake as well at the end of that, sitting right at the bar. What did you have?
I had the salmon.
Did
I
you
didn't
like
want to be
it?
basic and get steak, but yes, I really liked it.
Ain't nothing basic about the steak over there.
Well, I tried it
I'll tell you
because
straight
everyone
up.
else at the table got steak.
Naturally.
It was really good.
Yeah, they made a good choice. How was your salmon?
It was really good.
Did you do creme brulee?
No, I'm just not a creme brulee
That's
fan.
okay.
But we did the donuts, and those were pretty good.
Donuts are great. Yep.
Yep.
The butter cake is the thing that everybody goes for. But the creme brulee is a full-on show.
I watched somebody behind us get it. They brought out a big blowtorch.
Yep.
That was crazy.
That's how they do the caramelization on the top. They take a blowtorch and they do it tableside. I mean, you get it. Like everything at Supper Club is an experience. Like the food is amazing. It is an experience to go dine at Supper Club. So get your reservation. And Will Wade went there. I mean, first night back in Baton Rouge, you went to Supper Club. Friday. I mean, duh. Supper Club. Cassie went there for her anniversary.
Yeah, for my anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
All right, it's after further review. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Yeah, we were supposed to do Ellen Moore here.
Ellen Moore.
We didn't do that at all.
We can move it to hour 3 or tomorrow.
Muse has to do Tigers in the Pros when we come back. We have Luch, yeah? Luch is confirmed? Okay, so
Luch confirmed.
We have Luch in 15 minutes to recap the weekend that was in the SEC. What a bloodbath this weekend in the Southeastern Conference. Oh, my God. State swept Ole Miss. Tennessee got walked off 3 times by Vandy. Florida, I guess, is good. I guess they're good. I guess they're really, maybe. What a week. I mean, Luch has to make some sense out of this for us. We're going to do that in about 15 minutes. Got much more from Will Wade. I do want to talk about Ellen Moore. I mean,
Ellen Moore.
I do want to spend more time on the Gabe Reliford injury. God, I got so much to do. Okay, let me break. We'll come back. I'm used to do Tigers in the Pros. Don't go anywhere. It's AFR.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. glowresources.com. So Q1 is over, or it's about to be over another day. How's your business trending so far through Q1? Maybe a little short of budget? If that's the case, it might be because you don't have the right people in the right seats on the bus. You still have that position that you need to fill that you haven't been able to fill. I got great news for you. Glow Resources can help. GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They will find the exact person to fill that hard-to-find job in your business to make your business the most effective and efficient it can be. So call Glow Resources today, not just in Baton Rouge, anywhere in the U.S. of A. GLO, glowresources.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
If it's happening in Louisiana sports, you'll find it at louisianasports.net. From the New Orleans Saints and LSU to SEC rivalries, recruiting buzz, and sports betting headlines. We've got the stories that matter. Check it out now at louisianasports.net. And while you're there, support the businesses that support our team. All you have to do is click the Our Partners tab today at louisianasports.net and discover more about the local legends backing your favorite shows on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. It's all free.
We'll do Tigers and the Pros here in just a quick second. Ellen Moore was out at the owners' meetings today, appropriately, with Mrs. B. And we'll dive deeper into this next hour. But maybe the most interesting newsy thing was about Alvin Kamara and his role on this team potentially. Can you play? I think it's going to be number 7, if you would. Here's Ellen on Alvin.
Well, yeah, he's certainly on the roster and, part of that running back room, and we feel like there's ways that you can manipulate all those guys and put them in plenty of situations. Again, look at our season last year, look at probably just about every NFL season. Plenty of running backs play. Obviously we feel fortunate that we were able to acquire Travis in free agency, but, there's still a lot of work to be had out there. All
right, so Travis, of course, is Travis Etienne, and Ellen
Moore
is saying, Alvin is certainly still on the roster. Did not say he will be on the roster for the season. He just said he's certainly still on the roster. Something will follow. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Muso, Tigers and the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Full slate of Major League Baseball on Sunday. I'm so glad it's back, man. Grant Taylor for the White Sox. Shutout inning of relief, punched out the side in that inning as well. Needed it. Rough first outing for him, so that bounce back got the ERA to a respectable 4.5 here early in the season.
Speaking of, how about Heath Schroyer? Noted Yankee fan, Heath Schroyer.
Yeah, he lost me there until he started trying to get me a raise. Then I was right back in.
And that's when he was off of him.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
The guy's a sales guy.
He's
what
great,
can I
man.
say?
Well, you love to see it. Hunter Fiducia for the Tampa Bay Rays on Sunday. Our guy.
Guy's back.
Big Hunter Fiducia show if you don't know. 1 for 1 with a single, would come around to score and walked. And then for some reason, the Rays took him out of the game. Don't know why. Seems like he was being productive, but
they wanted
whatever.
to lose.
Well, they actually ended up winning. Otherwise, yes, I'd be right there with you. Alex Bregman was basically the Cubs' entire offense on Sunday. He went 2 for 4 with 2 homers, his first 2 of the season.
Oh, we need a new photo for Breggs. That's Red Sox Breggs.
We should keep it.
Nope.
No, we should keep it.
We need Cubs Breggs.
That's just tough, man. So he drove in 2 of the Cubs' 3 runs, and they lost to the Nationals. But great start to the season.
How did Bregman's season with the Bo Sox end?
In the playoffs. They made a playoff run. He was hurt.
Who did they lose to?
He was hurt for a good chunk of the season, so he missed some games, but he was really good.
Who did they lose to?
Tari Eason was in the Smoothie King Center.
So was Will Wade.
Hey, they were. Checking it out. Tari Eason's mother posted a great picture with Coach Wade actually at the game last night, man. Tari put on with his former head coach in the building. 15 points, 50% from the floor, 8 boards. He's just having a really, really good career, and that makes me happy. And the Rockets, well, they put it on the Pellies, unfortunately. 134 to 102. Sorry, future's bright.
There's the general.
Look at him. Such a good pullover, man.
Yeah, the Dunking Tiger basketball.
It's just so good.
The Dunking Tiger Mike logo.
I think it'd be better if it wasn't black, because LSU's colors aren't black. Like if that was a white one with that logo, it'd be so good.
LSU's colors aren't white either, Muse.
That's true.
Just say that's Tigers and the Pros so I can do my live
That's
read.
Tigers and the Pros.
Presented by Arco Power Systems, arco.com, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. Industrial Generac generator power. That's what Arco does. And it's all over the region. So really who I'm talking to is business owners. If you own a commercial, industrial facility, and I ask you this question, power goes out, what happens to your business? If you don't have the answer, you need Arco. They're awesome. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. This is energy for your business, okay? And everything's turnkey. They can sell, service, install, rent this Generac industrial standby generator. So grocery stores, hospitals, schools, government buildings, municipalities, anything. commercial industrial building. You need a generator for when the power goes out. You need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO. Arco.com. 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 All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. David DeLucci's coming back right after the top of the hour. Recap a busy weekend in the Southeastern Conference. And we will circle back. Let's hear more from Will Wade, who it was much fanfare at his introductory press conference today, but there was some brass tacks. We'll get to it coming up.
AFR.
And we do love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake, the championship health partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's the website if you want to learn more about the championship health partnership. But the thing that I encourage you most to recognize and understand is that Our Lady of the Lake is expanding healthcare to bring world-class services and all the specialties right here at home. So you don't have to leave to go get world-class healthcare. And me and my family are living proof of that, as are so many of you. But just last Wednesday, we were over at the Our Lady of the Lake Standalone Children's Hospital with Drew, seeing Dr. Shaw, his neurologist, when he had his 6-month neurology checkup. It doesn't matter if it's pediatrics or heart care or cancer or stroke. World-class care right here at home. It's Our Lady of the Lake. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar.